to day 5 of the tournament. We'll be watching 2 more battles tonight. Let me just double check. So, 2 more battles tonight with one more day so Monday will be the last of the first round eliminations. Tonight we have the Vietnamese Army versus MC being MinCho. And then later tonight, we'll have the TakeOver versus Eclipse fight. Interesting to see what happens tonight. I believe we had the Vietnam Army before, although they did not make it out of make it up to the top 8. I do believe actually they made it past the first round of elimination. But that might be my memory being very terrible. Huh? Ad. Oh yeah, that's because I'm an affiliate, so I can place ads on these things. Also, it's automatic. I'm pretty sure that ads automatically play when you become an affiliate or partner, and the pre-roll ads you can't disable them by default, which is weird. Well, sort of. It's weird because like I can't because the only way to disable pre-roll ads is to play an ad during your stream, and that disables it only for around about like 20 minutes. Boom. Looks like we got Harbor City for the first round. Very interesting to see. I wonder who is attacking Harbor City. Harbor City being one of the classic maps you normally see around. Does look like we have Vietnam Army attacking on Harbor City with MinCho defending. Interesting to see a heavy cavalry lineup coming out from MinCho on the defending side. Still quite a few cavalry coming out from Vietnam Army as well, but not as many as for MinCho, relying on some of the heavier infantry. In fact, we've got 2 Royal Janissaries and an Iron Reaper coming out from MinCho. MinCho also having Yal Tank. Yal Tank coming out from Bamboo Spear the last time I checked up on him. Yal Tank being being the leader of Bamboo Spear back in season 5. Real headache to deal with, mainly because well, actually during season 4 he was a pain in the ass, mainly because he kept chasing us down for no reason. We're literally like a region away. But enough about past grievances. Let's see how well I'm assuming this Korean majority defenders versus what I assume to be Vietnamese based, as they're named the Vietnamese Army. And that's hilarious. No signal, just briefly. Flipping over. Double checking. We have a flamethrower, actually. 2 tertials available for the attacking side. Lots of Imperial Pikes, though. Only 2 Fortebraccios. While the defending side going with heavy cavalry. Lot of Expedition Knights. 2 Palace Guards. Looking around about 5 Expedition Knights. Does look like 2 Loyal Guards are available. Metallators will be key in this battle to suppress the Siege Tower. Siege Tower did get buffed before the tournament, having an extra 20% health, making them 20% more difficult to take down. Normally, it would only take originally it would only take 1 green culver in order to take down a siege tower. Now it will probably take 1.5. With all siege towers being pushed along with the battering ram, does look like Vietnam Army is looking for a small climb. Doesn't look like they want to commit to anything just yet. Pretty standard approach so far. Nothing coming out that is too severe. We've got some culverins already being built to destroy these siege towers. Vietnam Army being a little bit slower to destroy some of these, how to say, siege weapons, not siege weapons, artillery. Still got one on the left-hand side. The front sections have been destroyed. I'd say it's a little bit slow, but maybe it's because I've seen it done faster. But actually, it could have, actually, considering that most of the siege artillery, well, the important ones are down, does mean that they are actually doing fairly well. Siege towers are getting extraordinarily close. They're not on fire. Does look like MinCho has gone with the approach to destroy the Trebs. Actually, they're not aiming to destroy those siege towers. Ooh, that Treb may have been caught a bit low. It does cap the top of the siege tower. We've got some Tundra Human coming in, a three-man squad coming into the back for Vietnam Army. Vietnam Army sending in their Tundra Human. Does not look like MinCho has any forces on the ground. Left-hand supply point cannot be taken at the present time, but does look like they're taking the long way around. I think I saw a Northern Lands Cavalry taking the lead by Ling Dong, Li Do, Dong, Duong. We've got Ka and Zuhao. Yes, indeed. We have Northern Lands Cavalry. 200 humans in the back. Does look like they will secure this supply point fairly easily. Not contested. Does look like MinCho has decided to go for a full-on wall defense. The suppression of siege towers will mean that they have a lot of freedom while on this siege tower. Expedition Knights being available means that they can heal up fairly easily without a supply point. Left side supply point and spawn point is still free and open. Vietnam Army seems to be stacking up on the left-hand side here. Doesn't look like anything has... does look like some hits have come out from the muskets. We've got looking at 6 muskets actually coming out for MinCho. Very interesting choice. Does look like a ginormous swing here. Vietnam Army going for the right-hand side, marching on forward. We're gonna see what. We're gonna see the first push. Does look like a longsword from MinCho. Does get caught and dies. We have his units following up behind him. A bad move. Does get him retreated though. Sorry about that. I hope I didn't miss anything. What? Oh yeah, I need to advertise my thing more, don't I? Does look like the left-hand side does have a couple of the Vietnam Army already up on the wall. Does look like they're trying to split up MinCho. MinCho being very strong on the right-hand side. Response on the left-hand side does seem to be scary. They back off. Vietnam Army. 2 more players accidentally falling down by mistake, or they've got tossed off by the plenty of muskets. The best way to deal with muskets is to force them off. Actually, surprising that these close-range Matalators just shooting directly at this Loyal Guard and Imperial Pikes, just absolutely wrecking that front line. We've got Expedition Knights guarding them as well. A big push coming out from Vietnam Army. Now on the right-hand side, Imperial Pikes. Iron Reapers charging in, actually. Iron Reapers are unstoppable on the charge, but a second Imperial Pike March will knock them down for now. Does look like Vietnam Army has the advantage, cleaned up the backhand side of Expedition Knights with Berserkers. Interesting to see that Imperial Spear Guards being deployed here. Looks like a grape shot as well. Another charge by another Iron Reaper. Does look like only 2 Iron Reapers available. Also, a stair push was probably destroyed by the mass of Expedition Knights and Royal Janissaries. The fighting is heavy, but does look like Vietnam Army is losing ground. No more units out for Vietnam Army, just Berserkers left. Berserkers are strong, but heavily outnumbered right now. These Imperial Pike Guards probably do not have advance. Does look like the advance is available, actually. My fault. But Metallators and an awesome wave of Expedition Knights will easily clean those guys up. Unfortunate assault here. Does not look like they've gained any ground at all. Heavy clashes are coming out. And MinCho should have only a couple more infantry available. Replacement of strong infantry units are on the lower side for MinCho, choosing to go with a more heavy cavalry heavy. What's MC? MC is MinCho. Does seem to be a Korean-based team by the looks of the names. We've got Vietnam Army facing off against Vietnam Army, of course. On top of the wall already. Does look like... Yeah. Oh, wait, no. Because you remember that Yaltank's original house name is actually called Mint Chocolate? We got some Pike Militia coming out for Vietnam Army. It does look like they've ran out of high-tier infantry, but Tertials and Fort of Russia is now being deployed at the back as well. Lots of grape shots coming in. Grape shots are great. They will not be blocked by the shields, but heavy infantry will tank a few shots. Here comes the Metallators. Metallators doing massive damage to the front line here. Looking to aim to take out those artillery. Precision shots does mean that Vietnam Army is at a massive disadvantage while those shots are still coming in. But the artillery, we're looking at probably seven grape shots being deployed, but a couple of them have been destroyed. Pike Militia versus Pike Militia right now. The advance is coming out from an Imperial Pike Guard, but does not look like to be effective. Does look like a lot of them did get killed. Both teams holding their elite infantry in reserve, waiting for the time for the engagement. Does look like Ironcap swordsmen are going to charge into the... Does look like it was a successful charge, but getting caught by the grape shots does mean that a lot of them has died on the backside. Lots of losses coming out for Vietnam Army. Vietnam Army looking to have barely anything left now, including their Fort of Russia. It seems to be getting absolutely destroyed. We've got 2 Metallators for the defending side, just wrecking the entire pile. Massive losses means... No. It's probably... Is that the new house in Bamboo Spear? No, it's probably Yaltank's original house, but they managed to get a team in this time. But MinCho is probably an English translation or a shorthand for what the English translation would be of his house name. Probably. Is my guess. Vietnam Army does seem to be pushed completely off. We've got some cavalry running around on the floor here by the Vietnam Army. Does look to be looking for people coming up those stairs, reinforcing MinCho. We got about 4 heroes on the ground. Does look like Vietnam Army has left the guardhouse. This is a mistake here. We've got quite a few infantry coming up. A good cavalry charge could wipe it out. We've got Tundra humans also again looking to avoid instead of fight. We've got less than we've got 2 minutes 10 to go. With only just serfs, does look like Vietnam Army will not make it across this not make it past the wall. A point being very difficult to fight for when you have the lower quality of units on the wall. Mass of serfs are nothing against a strong palace guard, but attrition will wear these guys down eventually. Aiming for those grape shots, MinCho is doing an excellent job to destroy more artillery from Vietnam Army. Vietnam Army trying to make best use of what they've got, but doesn't look like they're successful. Imperial Spear Guard trying to break through, but being suppressed by several heroes and their abilities. These Palace Guards are holding strong. Definitely a buff with that hold position ability. Strong. These guys will hold strong even now. Palace Guards are going down in, will finally go down. Less than a minute to go. Vietnam Army will need to rush it here. They need to push off the heroes, push off every single unit. But does look like a massive advantage coming in for MinCho. We've got 5 heroes down for Vietnam Army with a hero deficit. Doesn't look like Vietnam Army will be able to sustain the fight for very much longer. Although they have the unit advantage, these units don't seem to be strong enough to deal with this many heroes. Two more heroes go down. Does look like it will just be held by just the heroes alone, with barely any troops up here, in fact. Finally, some pike militia and some iron cap swordsmen coming in to intercept the left-hand side supply, the left side siege tower reinforcement from Vietnam Army. But that will be it for Vietnam Army. No time left. The defenders have won. MinCho doing an excellent job destroying the Trebs and holding the wall with superior infantry. Again, very difficult to take the wall at Harbour City when the attackers do not have access to their most powerful tool, which is the Treb, one of the things that is most frightening when you are the defender on Harbour City. Congratulations, MinCho, winning the first battle. We'll get to see them attack in the next round. Hopefully, Vietnam Army holds their defense as well, so we can go. So it will come down to a tiebreaker on grassland. I must commend MinCho's use of muskets. Definitely something to be seriously annoyed about when you're on the attacking side, and muskets continuously dropping caltrops and black powder bomb, two of the most two devastatingly effective AoE abilities, considering that they have strong CC capability. Caltrops having a slow slows down the momentum of any push, gaining time for the defenders, or in this case, just gaining time. Time is everything. Powerful ability for the black powder bomb for the musket, also a devastating damage. It also does throw, so again, that CC gives time and gives more advantage. Musket's a very powerful class. Also being at range does not have fear of being out of position, because a musket out of position, it would have to be basically point blank into the enemy. But a musket shouldn't do that. If a musket was close enough to be in danger in any sense, not being a very good musket. Muskets have the advantage of range. Range is invaluable in most circumstances. It is hard to evaluate how strong range is. But definitely Black Powder Bomb and Caltrops having access to 6 of those does mean that any push can be halted to a standstill by just the muskets alone. Strong users by the Expedition Knights, in fact. MinCho choosing self-sustaining units, both in great offensive capability and defensive capabilities, plus sustain, Expedition Knights are an excellent choice when you're considering multiple battles or battles where it's going to be long and without resupply. Self-sustaining units are quite, I would say, self-sustaining units would be quite desirable in this setting here. You want them to stay in the fight, so any ability to heal would be a massive boon. Surprising to see no longswords available. Longswords also having the AoE heal up. So considering that we had some Royal Janissaries deployed, it would have been a smart idea to have your Royal Janissaries paired up with some longswords, keeping those guys healthy. Their heavy armor and natural damage resistance make them a prime target for healing or sustain, mainly because every one of their health is more effective than normal. Iron Reaper is also a unit with self-sustain. Pretty strong. It's still pretty strong. 250 for 10 seconds, I believe, or 12, or 15 seconds. I believe it's 10 seconds for native um, natural healing abilities, while it's 15 seconds for the legendary version for a heal doctrine for the for spearmen. But for the epic version, it's only 150 for 10 seconds. So there's a bit of a weird balancing issue with a couple of the abilities, especially when we're considering some of the doctrines are um, completely imbalanced on certain units. I have a massive issue with double shot. Double shot doubling the damage output of crossbows, mainly just the normal ones, not the Rattan Marksman. Since Rattan Marksman has a different interaction with double shot, but doubling the damage output of any crossbow unit for 8 seconds is a extraordinarily powerful tool. Although it will eat through their ammo faster, if you can deal that damage faster, it is better for you. This is why Pavis is extraordinarily powerful in normal servers, but in the tournament server, they do not have access to doctrines, in fact. Very interesting to see that the doctrines are not available. Does mean that a lot of units that are viable once a couple of doctrines are placed on are less so, including the Spearman class, in fact. Spearman class relying on their massive block to carry them through, but without access to the 250 block and the 200% block recovery doctrine, I do believe that Spearmen are on the losing end here. Interesting choice, but a popular choice indeed. We have Wolfort. MinCho is going to attack Wolfort against VietnamArmy, who's the defender. We'll see what kind of defense VietnamArmy chooses to do. I always find it interesting to see new strategies for Wolfort. I have I have seen quite a few strategies for Wolfort, and a lot of them involves coming down to defense at sea. Sea will be an important point, but like on Harbor City, it is possible to hold the enemy at A with only one direct path to B, which is through the bridge on the small fort. This bridge this bridge on Wall Fort is very important to stopping any advance at B. Let the attackers across that bridge, B is basically lost. So that bridge must be destroyed. It is a long walk for any resupplying defender. But attackers having access to the supply point in the small fort does mean that they can throw units at B point much faster than the enemy. I mean, much faster than the defenders. Plenty of cavalry for both sides, in fact. Does look like VietnamArmy gone super heavy on the cavalry. Does MinCho also choosing to go a couple of members going double cavalry, in fact. Does look like ground battle is the only way this battle is going. But let's see if there's any interesting infantry battle at the beginning. Does look like an extraordinarily light defense at this small fort. Doesn't look like anyone from MinCho choosing to climb, though. MinCho needs to gain the advantage here. They need to send it to the ground. That means A or B needs to be taken. Vietnam Army might have slightly more infantry, but whether or not they can hold A and B is up to debate. Being very silly here, not a single person here on the B side does mean that MinCho does get some guys on the ground opening those gates. That left-hand supply point will be taken in quick order. I do not believe Vietnam Army is even concentrating on that bridge right now. Bridge is not even taking any damage by the looks of it. Maybe unprepared. MinCho is taking down the... They take down the wall, but not the bridge. Here comes MinCho. MinCho is crossing the bridge as we speak. We've got a musket, short sword, long sword, and poleaxe, a second short sword coming up to B. 5-man squad right here with Yao Tank in the front here. Vietnam Army definitely doing a massive mistake here, letting them get B for free. Makes their defense at A much harder. Massive retreat, though. Does look like they want to contest it on the ground at C, giving up all the tactical advantage for having this wall. I do believe that MinCho does plan to have some of their infantry contest on the ground. A point is getting taken. Does look like 2 of the siege towers have been stopped moving. We've got the right-hand siege tower being climbed. We just got some farmers and woodcutters. We got some iron cap swordsmen now. But MinCho will get A fairly easily. This means it's going to be an extraordinarily long fight at sea, or in a short battle. 3 minutes for A point. That means that Vietnam Army will have to hold for 12 plus minutes. It will take a little bit of time for MinCho to gather their forces, but Vietnam Army being a little bit slow, not having any heroes directly on the point, means that a couple of, maybe a second of cap time has been taken. Treb coming in the backside, aiming for something, or rather, I believe it might have been a Metallitor. Huge mistake here, eating a charge by an Iron Cap Swordsman. Does look like the Northernlands Cavalry have met their match from lower tier units. Half of them are dead. Very huge mistake here. Vietnam Army charging through with some Tundra humans, but most of them dodge, sacrificing a woodcutter unit. Good usage of units right now by MinCho, catching a high value units compared to their low cost. Another charge by... but gets caught by an Imperial Pike March. These Tundra humans are running scared without the with Pike units now in the mix. Vietnam Army definitely looking to clean up with their cavalry, but MinCho does seem to be winning on the trades here. Finally losing out on massively on the trade. Just a massive Tundra humans coming down on that Imperial Pike army. Does look like a lot of infantry does get out. MinCho does not look to be looking to resupply or change their units right now. They're sticking with some infantry here on the left-hand side. Probably a mistake. They have the ability to actually run down towards the B section, B side supply point. Does look like Palace Guards coming out for Vietnam Army, holding the C point by itself. MinCho has a couple of cavalry already coming out. 2 Northernlands cavalries. 2 of them get, I think actually one of them just gets pegged by a ballista down center. We've got 2 Winged Hussars and 2 Northernlands cavalry. More popping up in the back. Mass of cavalry is ready to rumble. MinCho looking gathered up. A javelin unit. We're looking at javelin sergeants throwing at cavalry. These javelins are great at scaring off cavalry. Tundra humans challenging a winged Asar to a charge contest does lose that very convincingly. Northernlands cavalry versus multiple cavalry does get eaten alive. I do believe those winged Asars just tried to march right through some Fortrashers. These Fortrashers are by themselves little support. We've got winged Asars coming out for Vietnam Army and Imperial Pikes coming. This point is heavily contested. Doesn't look like MinCho has gone into the back. It is a ripe old mess. Avoiding the main C point, we've got cavalry looking to catch anyone caught on the outside. But finally, MinCho throwing their heroes at those pike units, finally devastating those Imperial Pikes and Water Rushers. Some reinforcing Tundra humans for Vietnam Army are coming through. Does seem to be winning the battle for them for now, but the heavy infantry from MinCho do seem to be holding their ground, killing a couple of Tundra humans. Those Royal Janissaries cleaving the air. Whether or not they hit something is up to is by luck, I would say. But Vietnam Army sending in some more Imperial Pikes. I believe Vietnam Army trying to throw in a winged Asar at the back, but does get caught out. Northernlands cavalry are tough, but they will eat a Imperial Pike March right now. They are surviving. Does look like, in fact, another Imperial Pike coming in from the rear, and a Tundra human. This Northernlands cavalry will be swiftly defeated, although they did take an Imperial Pike down with them. Vietnam Army does look like to have the majority here at the C point, losing a lot of heroes, in fact, for MinCho. MinCho losing probably 8 at the height, only down to 9 heroes. A lot of cavalry dead, but does look like a couple of infantry are being deployed by Vietnam Army, depending, let's see how well they use. Both sides using up a lot of their cavalry. The unit count for the attackers here for MinCho is only at around 700, with 1,100 units being available for Vietnam Army. But do remember, MinCho has the majority in cavalry. Here comes the second set of cavalry. Does look like they're almost ready to rumble. Lots of Tundra humans this time. Some winged Asars in the mix. Tundra humans being extraordinarily cost-effective cavalry. They're fairly powerful, and their patrol ability makes them uncontestable in natural state. Tundra humans forcing their way right through a pike militia. Pike militia is not going to be able to stand up to this many cavalry. A winged Asar into the side of the cavalry mass. Massive hit, but the Tundra humans are tanky, so they will survive the majority of the shot. Some more Tundra humans from Vietnam Army does clean up a couple of the Tundra humans. Massive losses coming out for MinCho. Bad exchanges here, letting that winged Asar come through. But MinCho not giving up, throwing more and more cavalry through here. Finally, some winged Asars down at nothing. It does look like a wasted charge. Might have been hitting something off screen. But MinCho does get cleaned up convincingly here. Vietnam Army doing its best, but the heroes have not given up. The warlords have decided to just go for the C point, all inning it with just themselves. We got three short swords and a longsword. Longsword trying his best to survive, does back off slowly as more and more units come in to clean them up. Not very many units out on the field, if any at all. Some pike militia are actually being deployed by MinCho. MinCho looking pretty weak here. Nothing substantial. Vietnam Army definitely doing a great job here. the cavalry exchanges being extraordinarily bad for MinCho does mean that MinCho now has barely anything left. 400 units might be a critical turning point. It's going to be just surf units for MinCho. Does look to seem that way. They have gone into bombardment mode using those available mortars that they should have. Holding Harvest City convincingly could have been up to their teamwork, but does look like on the attack, MinCho is not very strong on the attack, massively losing out in certain choke points. But it could be the teamwork biting them in the ass. Their one mind, all forcing it only in one direction, means that VietnamArmy has the accessibility of reinforcing and just concentrating one front. Although there was a lot of cavalry, cavalry makes for a chaotic battle. But when infantry is at the front, you want infantry masses to be to reach critical mass. No point in engaging a shield wall with pike militia. Pike militia will eat it really hard by those shield maidens. Well, those shield maidens are pushing in fact. Loyal guards at the front eats another ult by a hero, but Metallitor's just crushing the center line. Right now, VietnamArmy is pushing back the pike militia force. Does look like some Tundra humans looking for a flanking couple. Down goes more heroes from MinCho. MinCho actually probably down some permadeath. Less than 200 units left. This will, I would say, at 3 minutes, this will clear. This is clear victory for the defenders. Unfortunate. It does look like this Nagisara Udon getting stuck behind I think, a rack or something? Unfortunate there. Surprisingly named Chicken is on the manhunt right now, chasing after these Alp Halberdiers that are retreating towards the supply point. Unfortunately, when units are on the supply point, they are not in their attack mode, so they will not attack anything unless they're in contact, giving them a extraordinarily vulnerable position. So for the last 2 minutes, it's just going to be a manhunt by VietnamArmy. Congratulations, VietnamArmy, by holding the defense. Looking at the death counts, we are only looking at around about 4 or 5 heroes actually left on the field. Does certainly mean that VietnamArmy has got this in the bag, having all 15 heroes still available, plus 800 units. Does look like MinCho will lose the defense. Even though controlling the having more cavalry than the defenders, MinCho actually beating out this chicken here. Chicken is trying to run, does make it out. No, the spear catches him. Nice Procrustes gift. Unfortunately, you should never go in a 2v1. A 2v1 is certain death. Well, I wouldn't say certain death, actually. Probably a disadvantage at the very least. Down goes some more heroes from MinCho. MinCho is getting, this spear user is getting absolutely wrecked by those 4 heroes. Longsword doing his best to survive. 30 more seconds until this battle is over. I do think I called it 2 minutes 30 ago. Probably could have called it earlier. But after the last offensive by MinCho did look like that they had nothing left. The attack at the supply point was probably the last ditch effort but definitely would fail. But that does mean it comes down to a field battle. Very interesting to see who is better at cavalry. I do think Vietnam Army after that display has more control over their cavalry, but MinCho definitely's got that hive mind mentality, looking for strength in numbers, so definitely will look to burst right through. Field battle is a contest of strategy and skill. Well, sometimes in siege, well, no, actually, in all circumstances, it could be a matter of skill, could be a matter of strategy. At this time, I do think Vietnam Army has the winning side on the defense for strategy, but Min Cho definitely got the strength and skills to contest that strategy. Well, you would hope so. We'll be around about 5 minutes before the next set of battles. Hopefully, we do not go overtime. These battles normally take around about 20 minutes. That's including setup time and length of battles in general, just around about 15 minutes. I'll be right back. Dun, 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 dun. And the next battle is about to begin. Next battle is about to begin on grassland. Vietnam Army versus MinCho. Round 3, 1-all after the defense. After a strong defense from both teams, we are going to see how well they do on a field battle. Field battles normally come down to a contest of cavalry, but we'll see if anyone goes with a couple of infantry in the mix. Does look like Vietnam Army does choose a couple of infantry, mostly Imperial Pikes and some Fortibracios. We got two Tertials, in fact, some Shield Maidens, and a Metallitor, sorry, for Vietnam Army. Just a massive cavalry coming out for MinCho. Looking at mostly Hussars, in fact. I do believe the lack of use of Tundras here will come back to bite both teams. Tundras will be extraordinarily valuable when it comes to outside of abilities. Northern Lands Cavalry still seems to be being picked up by MinCho. We got a Rattan Ranger being picked. Vietnam Army going out with mostly infantry for the first block. Vietnam Army going for a CB push while MC also doing a BA strategy. But in terms of numbers, we've got one guy going towards A, while the rest of MinCho going towards this B push. 3 heroes on the C side for Vietnam Army. The initial clash has begun. Northernlands Cavalry getting caught in between 2 Hussars. Does look like those Hussars do wipe out that Northernlands Cavalry. But as the infantry move in to reinforce their position, a winged Hussar into the backs. Unfortunate, those Imperial Pikes did not march. Leaving these Metallitors alone does look to be the mistake. Vietnam Army absolutely surrounded, but the front line is holding. Back line is holding. A forward charge, actually, by Vietnam Army, catching half, I would say. But Fortibracios are doing their best to kill and slaughter those MinCho cavalry. Imperial Pikes, some Tundra humans also charging into the mix. Does look like slowly they're throwing more and more heroes into the B point, but it might have been a mistake for Vietnam Army right now. MinCho having the absolute advantage towards the B point, including the number of heroes. But Lucifer coming in for a does look like he failed in his rear attack. Vietnam Army doing their best, in fact, to reset that B side B cap, but it will go through finally. Coming in alone here, being very brave, this spear user from Vietnam Army will go down. Very unfortunate. Massive losses coming out for Vietnam Army for their initial engagement. I do believe the capabilities of cavalry have shown themselves to be extraordinarily superior here. Although Vietnam Army had a strategy, they could not isolate, they could not fortify their positions on the front line nor at the back line. Losing out Falconettis and a lot of pikemen early on does spell their doom for the formation to fail. But now with a and B capped for MinCho, they do have an advantage to attack towards the base point. Vietnam Army deciding to go with a lot of cavalry now. Infantry, most of their infantry probably getting shafted in the first half of the match, at the beginning of the match. This glaive user going in by himself was a mistake. Does get caught and eaten alive. Some Tundra humans just forcefully charging. Our Halberdier is looking to catch this Tundra human on the back ride. Vietnam Army going through the center. Nice catch by those Alp Halberdiers, catching an entire Northern Lands cavalry. Does look like, oh, Winged Hussar coming in from the side from MinCho, sweeping out those Tundra humans. But cavalry charge, 2 cavalry charges coming out from Vietnam Army does swing the fight into their favor, catching high tier cavalry all around. Rattan Rangers trying to do their best at skirmishing, but unfortunately meet some Alp Halberdiers. These Alp Halberdiers are being absolute, they're being incredible right now. Oh, very unfortunate catching, that barricade catching most of that, wow, this is very hard to see the red, but does look like, MinCho did just clean up a loyal guard off of B point. A lone Hussar trying to get a charge through. But again, this barricade is being very stubborn. I believe I've seen 3 charges fail because of that barricade. Just now. But MC still holding this B point fairly solidly. We've got some more units coming in now. Some infantry, in fact. Winged Hussars continuously cycle charging. Is that a regular human? Human Lancers being deployed by MinCho may have been a mistake in selecting the units, considering that Human Lancers being completely superseded by their seasonal counterpart, the Tundra Humans. Y'all tank circling in the back, looking for a shot in the rear. Vietnam Army stalling their approach right now. One by one they go in, one by one they fall. Does look like this trade of units is working in MC's favor. Slowly but surely, it does look like the number of units dying is going in MC's favor, but they still have to make up a 250 or approximately 250 unit deficit. Pike Militia versus Pike Militia. Pike Militia does scare off some of the human. These are just regular humans, not the Tundra humans. Imperial Pikes coming out for Vietnam Army, holding the front. March on top of some village watchmen. Probably not a very wise target. We've got some Winged Hussars going straight for those Imperial Pikes. Imperial Pikes survive the charge, in fact, and eats them alive. But a Northern Lands Cavalry comes in and swings. Does look like sweeping them up real fast. Tundra humans kind of standing still. Need to get moving. Cavalry standing still is a sitting target. Winged Hussars does come in from the front. Getting halfway through, does look like to be a successful charge. Another charge coming in from the side. Not sure what it hit, but it didn't hit very much. Coming down to just Pike Militia as cavalry continually to move out. We got Domain Pikemen at the front here for Vietnam Army. Just fighting heroes. One of the only units to have bonus against heroes, including Iron Reapers, but they're not going to be that effective. Pike Militia does take down more of the Vietnam Army heroes. Climbing in kills for MinCho does seem to be MinCho probably got a couple more cavalry in reserve, while Vietnam Army probably got 1 or 2. This one MinCho short sword doing his best to just survive. And he finally goes down. 4 heroes dead for Vietnam Army does mean that with 4 heroes dead means units not available. They have 565 units, means that we're almost at the critical threshold when where people stop having units available. Nice sweep up of that Pike Militia for those Tundra humans. These Tundra humans should be able to get out fairly free, but in fact, I think a couple of them getting caught. Whoa! Another cavalry charge coming in. Just regular humans beating out Vietnam Army. We've got some woodcutters, in fact, rushing towards this B point. Some rattan pikemen. These rattan pikemen are really good in versus high tier units, mainly because they have a extraordinarily powerful debuff. Some Alp halberdiers and some Imperial pikes. The rattan pikemen's holding their ground for now, but heroes are dying for MinCho army. The heroes from Vietnam Army, MinCho being very aggressive with their heroes, slashing and fighting every single unit that comes across. These Imperial Pikes need to engage right now. Got 2 minutes left without any capture points from either of the camps. It just comes down to who has more points. More of the points. Some Northern Lands cavalry coming in from the back here. They're not particularly good at dealing with numbers right now. They can kill a few on impact, but with more mass for Vietnam Army right now, they will hold. But reinforcements from some village watchmen does seem to turn the tide. Alp halberdiers doing their best to fight right now. Vietnam Army does seem to be losing here on the hero side. This longsword getting caught. Does look like the Mole tried to save him. Down goes 2 of the Vietnam Army heroes. All of the heroes being pushed off by MinCho. In fact, one of the moles from MinCho catches one of the short swords. A very good target to take down early. Just village watchmen coming in from both sides, just fighting on the point while the heroes fight each other. More go down for Vietnam Army. Vietnam Army just down to 6 heroes. Definitely does seem like the strength and skill of MinCho comes in their hero usage and cavalry. Not winning the hero battle means losing out at the end here with barely any units left for either side. MinCho has an absolute advantage with 13 heroes with less than 20 seconds. To go, means that no points can be captured. Very unfortunate for Vietnam Army. Does look like MinCho will have this in the bag. There goes the GG. And congratulations, MinCho. They will move on to the second round elimination. Unfortunate for Vietnam Army. They have been eliminated for this round. They will face off. MinCho will face off against Hot in the second round elimination on the. God, I wish I had eyesight. Or I had a bigger image, which I actually have access to, but I don't keep it up by default, which I should really do. So we have on the 11th, so next week, Monday. No, wait. It'll be this Sunday. This Sunday. Elimination rounds start after tomorrow, which will be on the Wednesday. So Wednesday. On the 9th. You just missed the field battle. Or did I just have that in the small screen the entire time? Please tell me I didn't have that in the small screen the entire time. Did I have that in the small screen the entire time? Oh my god, I am such an idiot. Okay, so yeah, Almas, you just missed out on the battle between Vietnam Army versus MinCho. It actually comes down to the field battle decider, both winning their defense. Um, MinCho winning their defense on Harbor City, and Vietnam Army winning their defense on Wall Fort. Coming down on the field battle, MinCho winning out with an A and B hold. So no base captures at this point. No base captures. We do have another battle coming up soon. We've got TakeOver versus Eclipse. I do actually have the battles that will be playing out. We have Eclipse banning Constantinopolis and TakeOver banning Helong Ford. TakeOver will be attacking first on Harbor City, with Eclipse attacking second on Wolfort. During, like, can someone confirm for me whether? Oh my god, I am now afraid I accidentally did the entire field battle on small screen. Oh my god. Yeah. Forget it. I'm fuck. Oh my god. Yeah, nah. Fuck it. I'm just like I'm deleting. I'm deleting this one. I don't need it. I don't need it. Oh my god. The entire field battle is done with my face. All you get to see is my face. Oh my god. You get to see nothing of the Mincho versus Vietnam Army because it's in the corner. The cooldown is very strange. I think if you get kicked from the house, you can join another house immediately. But if you leave the house, there's a cooldown. I thought they removed that. Mistakes were made, folks. Mistakes were made. Harbor City. Again, we're having TakeOver attack Harbor City first, with the defending side being Eclipse. First time, I believe, we've seen these guys in the tournament. Does look like a very fascinating lineup. A lot of Tundra humans with a couple of tier 4 pikemen. Lots of Alp halberdiers, actually. Only a scattered few Metallators. 2 Metallators coming out for Eclipse, with only 1 Metallator and an avant-garde coming out for TakeOver. TakeOver again, TakeOver as well, going a little bit light on cavalry compared to what we've seen before on this map. Gonna take a quick look at the heroes. Did seem like the short swords are in plenty of supply. Tundra humans all being deployed first up. Does it seem like it's gonna be a Sally, in fact. Eclipse might take a risky play here. Does look like a lot of the artillery is up on the wall side is unmanned. TakeOver probably expecting something. We've got a lot of Fortibraccios at the front, heading towards the front gate. Front gate is open. We've got Tundra humans coming out for Eclipse. The sally has begun. A Treb down the center. Does look like a mostly dodged Treb. Coming in the side of this Fortibraccio. These Fortibraccios are caught out, but does it kill some? A charge in the backside cleans them up real fast. We've got Imperial Pike March coming in through. 200 humans should be able to deal with it, but a third one comes out and cleans those Imperial Pikes. Although TakeOver was expecting it, does not mean that they can trade evenly with these Tundra humans. These Tundra humans looking for small units trapped on the outskirts. Another pair of Fortebraccio and Imperial Pikes getting caught out here, but does look like to catch a lot of them. No follow-up. Doing very well, in fact. TakeOver catching a lot of these Tundra humans. Fortebraccio seem to be moving up towards the supply point to catch more. Eclipse mostly failing in their sally out, I would say, but it definitely was effective. A couple of the first kills, especially the Imperial Pikes and the Fortebraccio getting caught out like that, was not good for TakeOver. Sally out has failed. Does look like Eclipse is going to be on the back foot with Siege Towers still being pushed. It's going to be fairly quick for TakeOver to get onto the wall. Will Eclipse also be able to sally forth their infantry in order to make it back? Left side siege tower up. Middle side siege tower gets destroyed, actually. Right hand siege tower still pushing on forward. We got some cavalry from Eclipse still lurking about. TakeOver having their own cavalry still on the defensive. TakeOver dealing with that sally out. a little bit strangely. Treb and the fire pots, I believe. TakeOver is stacking the left-hand siege tower up immensely right now. We've got about 5 heroes on it. Right-hand siege tower did go down in the meantime. We got the battering ram for TakeOver taking down the front gate. Front gate does go down. A Treb towards these loyal guards and these Metallators in the back. Mostly missing, in fact, but I do believe those loyal guards are on critical, taking at least one shot directly into the center. But these Metallators being here on the left side will definitely be a pain in the ass for TakeOver once they get up onto this wall. Does look like we have a fight in the back, actually. TakeOver looking to just full force it towards that supply point. A strategic halberdier. Looks like bottom line halberdier indeed. These bottom line halberdiers have 20% extra damage against cavalry. Very effective against Tundra humans, in fact. They will cut Tundra humans in pieces. Alp halberdiers also doing the same. Alp halberdiers are extraordinarily good. Without the protection of the Alp halberdiers, it does look like these berserkers are getting ran down. Imperial Pike march up the stairs, but getting shot to pieces by Metallators. Berserkers in the front for TakeOver, killing off some of the remainders of a Pike unit. Loyal Guards reinforce the front of these stairs. Does look like these Berserkers will not make it through this day. The Imperial Pike Guard also being finished off. They do get some units up on the left-hand side. Just the halberdiers, but halberdiers without stun on brace and also dedicated to anti-cavalry right now are weak against normal infantry. But never underestimate that phalanx formation of halberdier units are extraordinary. Most damaging formation you can think of in the infantry lineup. Imperial Pikes just tanks the damage. Does look like a straight fight between halberdiers and Imperial Pikes right now. Imperial Pikes eating a couple of Trebs. Actually, mostly misses. Imperial Pike advance does come through. Here comes a counter Imperial Pike march. Short sword disrupting it in quick order. Flamethrowers coming out for Eclipse, burning down what remains of these Imperial Pikes, but these Imperial Pikes will not go down easily. Some Metallators of their own does seem to have cleaned up a... No, looks like a couple of kills on the Loyal Guard, but the Loyal Guard still standing. Loyal Guard looking to hold back the tide of infantry. Slam goes a short sword and disrupts the formation. Does look like this Loyal Guard will go down in a few seconds. We've got some Squires, some Imperial Pikes and Iron Pagodas, along with some Nufran Guards coming out for TakeOver. TakeOver moving towards the A point now. Sandwiched from both sides. Trebs in the center. Remainder of what's left of a Loyal Guard does seem to be getting pounded right now. Fortebraccios, Alp Halberdiers, and some Shield Maidens on the left-hand side coming in. Completely surrounded. Eclipse got most of their heroes up on this wall, defending A to their last piece of health. But one by one, they are going down. A little bit of a chase here. Does look like Eclipse is looking for a run. Down goes a lot of the warlords from Eclipse. They will have to make a break for it for the left-hand side. The right-hand side being already capped and looks like to have a defending warlord on top of that supply point. Now with A secured, forces from TakeOver move down towards the supply point. Does look like Eclipse is still on with the forward defense, trying to take take out the remainder of TakeOver that was at the supply point, but with massive reinforcements, does look like a couple of these Hussars will be caught in the back. TakeOver looking to catch as many Eclipse heroes as they make their way back. Down goes one more. Seven minutes to go. A good time for TakeOver. Not too much fighting on top of the wall, but but Eclipse will be looking to be in a bad spot. A lot of their cavalry being used up early on with a sally. Will TakeOver make a successful first push. A forward defense here from Eclipse, starting to deploy some of their artillery, or what remains of it. A random shot coming out from a grave shot doesn't look like to hit anything. Mortar position strategically does look like they're looking to dislodge the Eclipse players from that corner. Very common corner to have a forward defense. Other than that, you have the scaffolding, but without massive range support, would be impractical to hold back. Some takeovers actually heading over to the supply point. Some Berserkers leading the way. Berserkers not being taken down almost instantly by a Pierce thrustback. Berserkers still doing their job. Some Shield Maidens coming in the back. A charge going through the center, but does look like to be disrupted by Alphabetiers and Fortabraccios. Now we've gone to the fight at the main base point. Flamethrower coming out for TakeOver, burning down the front line here. Shield Maidens holding for TakeOver. Imperial Pikes and Fortabraccios for the defenders. Some Alphabetiers charge in through, but looks like to be a failed charge. Did not gain them any time. Fortabraccios, these Squires are actually leading the way in, and some Iron Pagodas on the left-hand side. Squires charging in onto the some Halberdiers. Narfan Guards doing what they do best, burning down the front line. Some Fortabraccios coming in for Eclipse right now. In a solid formation, it will get shot a couple of times though. Flames go across the ground, and those Fortabraccios are scared. Will get taken down in quick order. But reinforcement from TakeOver is coming. They've secured the supply point and heading towards the base point right now. We've got some Northernlands cavalry leading the way. I take that back. Those are the attackers. Means that the attackers have cleaned up all of the defenders just now. 2 defenders left. I am sorry, but looked like TakeOver has won easily the base point and the supply point. With nothing left, Eclipse looks to be the loser of the defense. Congratulations. Congratulations, TakeOver. You have won their attack. Definitely a failed sally forth, a sally for Eclipse, losing out a lot of their Tundra humans where they could have used it. Narfan Guards doing an excellent job burning down the front line. Doesn't look like Eclipse could stand their ground for very long once those Metallators were taken out from the wall, whether or not it was out of ammunition or overwhelmed. Only 4 users coming out with a permadeath for Eclipse side. Does look like a low number of deaths coming out for TakeOver. A lot of kills, in fact. Does look like Eclipse did their best to try to stay alive, but TakeOver does seem to want to kill out the heroes. Not surprising to see a spear user at the top, but I wonder what units they would have had. Can't really go back and check. Oh wow. I have got a sore voice. I think I might lose it at this rate. Doo -doo -doo. Oh. Does look like it seems like it's taking a little bit of time for the second match. But I will repeat. We've got the second match between Eclipse and TakeOver, with Eclipse attacking Wallfort. TakeOver did take their attack on Harbor City, winning right now. Does look like TakeOver is in the strong position, but whether or not TakeOver can hold the defense for the win, or whether or not Eclipse can win their attack in order to send it to a tiebreaker, we're going to have to wait a little bit longer. Does look like the battle is about to begin. Wall Fort again, very popular map and choice among all tournament teams. Very common to see it. The strategy for it does normally comes down to a mass commitment for C for the defenders, and could be decided at and is usually decided at C. Very few times have I've ever seen it be decided at the base point. Does look like both sides are going a little bit light on the cavalry, but we've got a lot of cavalry coming out for takeover, more so than the attackers. Does look like takeover want to decide it at sea. Normally you can tell what kind of defense they're going for. A sea defense means you need mobility and strength. Cavalry are the best at charge in and get out. Clips are deploying 2 berserkers, in fact. Got a lot of short swords for both sides. Spears, in fact, seem to be also a common class to be picked. Only one longbow today. Saw a lot of longbows in previous matches. I'm going to be looking at the distribution right now. Roughly around 5 heroes on this small fort for the attacking side. We've got around about 6-ish heroes coming out for the defending side. A couple of the heroes for takeover has moved to the backhand side. I'm not sure what they're going to do, but does look like a full-on massacre of culverins right now. Culverins being deployed, I believe, on the backhand side. A very old strategy, but a strategy nonetheless. I have seen a strategy where they go even further towards statue, but that might have been overkill. Very standard right now. Clip's not committing to the climb here. Can't make it through the defense of takeover. Takeover looking retreating one after the other, actually. They're moving towards the bridge. Probably not. Probably just using the artillery that is there. On the right-hand side, we've also got a couple of climbs, but does not look to be successful. Nor are they committing towards it. Kawaii Potato looks to be going for the destruction of that cannon. He will take it down in quick order. A short sword does challenge him, but down he goes the wall. Will take a little bit of fall damage there. Unsuccessful with this small fort push. Does look like a couple of the heroes are trying to get out. I believe the bridge is at bingo health. Means that it will go down in quick order. So a chase is unlikely. Most of the heroes have come, 3 heroes have come up trying to blow this pike militia down. Probably a little bit late. I do believe they will just retreat out of there. Takeover not looking to stay. Just get out. You'll lose a couple of units, but you're not going to lose that many. Across the bridge they go. I believe it will go down in quick order. Strange that Eclipse is looking to destroy the bridge themselves. I mean, looking to destroy the wall themselves. Down goes the wall. Right-hand siege tower is up for Eclipse. Eclipse having some Imperial pikes on the top. Does look to be scared off by some squires, in fact. Very interesting to see squires on the field. Squires pretty much the only unit in the game to have a fascinating melee resistance. Or well, among the infantry class anyway. Monastic Knights and Tundra Humans both have the melee resistance. And I believe also Hussars. Hussars actually have melee resistance as well. A little bit of a battle of the low tiers right now. Well, actually, no. We've got mostly Imperial Pikes at the front here. Some Berserkers in the mix. They will fall to these. Oh, a charge by Halberdiers, but doesn't look to have phased the Berserkers. 2 sets of Berserkers just charging on forward. Does look like the A point is being secured fairly easily. Some shelling by the Metallators are happening. These Berserkers seem to be cleaning up these Pike Militia. They will go down with hero intervention. Metallators shooting directly at that hole and gap as more and more units come through. Interesting treb placement. Will catch the tail end of this. Yep, there we go. The tail end of that Pike Militia. Although probably a little bit of a waste of treb, it was aimed at the metallic tors. Some Alp halberdiers charging in through. Some regular halberdiers does look like bottom line halberdiers. Tundra humans forcing their way through. Does look to be cleaning up the pile. Some their own berserkers for takeover and some shield maidens at the front. Fort of Russia is now being surrounded without support and easily gotten on. Will be cleaned up real fast. Being pushed out. Eclipse is on the run. Alp halberdier is leading the way against some pike militia, but that narrow corridor gives brace pikes an advantage. Looking to flank them, but a halberdier does scare them off by the looks of it. A little bit of a stalemate now. Pike militia are let go. Seem to be on the attacking side. Take over a AO-92. Alp halberdier is trying to catch him, but Alp halberdiers do fall. We've got some oh, maybe not. Alp halberdiers have rebraced. Does look like this small passageway is being a real pain for both sides. A lot of cavalry coming out for some cavalry coming out for Eclipse. Eclipse looking for a rear charge. He pulls it off in he pulls back his units, in fact. The spear units catching a couple of the units. 4 Tundra humans will go down. Catching 4 models is a significant loss for cavalry units, considering that they're normally half strength compared to infantry units. Mortars being deployed by Eclipse now. We're going to move into a shelling phase. Let's see how many kills they get. If it comes down to a war of attrition, TakeOver has a good advantage, having roughly around about 200 more units than the attackers. Eclipse is in a bad spot, especially since we know TakeOver has more cavalry than Eclipse do. But that could be to do with the quality of units. We've got probably more low-tier infantry coming out for TakeOver. A lot of Imperial pikes. 1 bottom line, 2 top line. We've got some halberdiers also in the mix. Tundra human 2 seem to be on their patrol running around, moving towards the right-hand side. Tundra humans sacrificing the last 3, not being killed, catching a couple of units for free. That is a massive mistake. Not instantly murdering those, but here we are. Eclipse going for the supply point. A strong defense is already here. Cavalry. Down goes one of the warlords from Eclipse. A flame curtain and quick flame going down. Flamethrowers shooting towards each other, but with the Metallitor and Tertial available for the defenders, they will just wipe this Fort Braccio. Trying to commit a horse unit straight into Fort Braccio's does seem to fail. We are looking at a massive loss here for Eclipse. It is going to be increasing. Down goes the side attack. Does look like also failing there, but we're getting some cap at C point right now. C point being held up by probably some iron cap swordsmen. No, some Imperial guard. I mean, some palace guards. But here comes the heroes from TakeOver, along with a mass of pikemen. Grape shot being deployed by Eclipse reinforcements. But palace guards go down real fast. Some Metallitors with Overwatch fire. One by one, the heroes go down for Eclipse. Eclipse definitely shouldn't be throwing their lives away. They're trying to catch TakeOver on the reverse end, but even if they do catch any of the units, they're severely outnumbered right now. Pikemen and Berserkers looks to be catching the leftover Eclipse, but a spear user grabs B for more time. Not going to be a lot of time, though. 7 minutes to go. Catching most of this pike militia. Does seem to be that the wall seem to be blocking a lot of the shots for the Metalator. We've got Tertials being available. Tertials being excellent at shooting high armor targets, but they will still do a lot of damage regardless. Imperial Pike March onto some Pike Militia. Here comes a Winged Assault Charge from the side. Some Tundra Humans coming in from the front. Cleans up the side, though. Not going through the center. Does look like they're coming back on the reverse side. Tundra Humans reinforcement from TakeOver, but a lot of their infantry did get taken out at the front. Berserkers in the mix where they want to be, where it's a little bit thin, not easily to overwhelm Berserkers when you don't have a mass, but one by one the Berserkers will go down. Tundra Humans coming in for more sweeping charges. Tundra Humans from Eclipse side getting taken out by the Fort Brascio towards the sea point. Not very good use of their Tundra Humans getting caught out like this. TakeOver having a solid defense now. The troop disadvantage for Eclipse moving on to around about 400, in fact. TakeOver now pushing on forwards with two sets of Shield Maidens. Winged Asar coming from the front does get caught by Fort Brascio. The two Shield Maidens get cleaned up eventually. Some Imperial Pikes from TakeOver moving to the front. Does do an early march, but catching quite a few units here. Mostly Alphalbardiers. Another Winged Asar charge from the side, but catching again this Fort Brascio. Doing an amazing job here from Eclipse. But after a while, charges will start to get through. The center of that Fort Brascio has broken. Imperial Pikes on the side from the front. Eclipse is losing ground inside the defenders are successfully pushing out Eclipse mass number of Imperial Pikes, so chasing them down right now. With only 6 heroes left, it does look like Eclipse is on the losing end. I do believe this will be a 2-1 victory towards TakeOver. Still a 400 unit lead, but it's increased by about 50. And that's the extent of the sally out. TakeOver still realizes that, or maybe not. Tertial's moving forward, in fact. It will take a while for Eclipse to regain their strength, but it does look like another Imperial Pike guard will go down as it gets caught out here towards the B-side wall. I do believe those are Imperial Arquebusiers shooting in volley fire with tertial support. Not very much Eclipse can do except wait for death. We are looking at a lot of permadeath. We are looking at least 5, probably 5 plus permadeaths with no respawns. No, that is 8. 8. More than half the team of Eclipse is permanently dead. It's going to be just 3 minutes of just 7 heroes duking it out against 15. I don't know what Eclipse can do in this situation. A solid defense by TakeOver. Mixture of range, shield, and pikemen, along with some cavalry in the mix. Churchill's shooting the enemy. Good position to be in. You got support of your allies. And juicy targets. All the juicy targets in the world. All pikemen. No shields. Here comes a Treb. Sitting directly at the point. There is 6 Trebs left for the attackers, but I'm not sure if that's going to turn the tide. It does creep the unit kills just a little bit, but we're moving on towards almost 500 unit deficit for Eclipse. Not to mention we have an 8 hero deficit, and that's permanent. No more heroes than these 7 will spawn. Does look like a lot of people on their last lives for Eclipse. The sally forth has begun. The manhunt for the end of the game. Winged Hussars trying to burst their way through. Unfortunately, Imperial Pike march for days, and Nathan Guards burn it down. Takeover charges straight on through, catching one of the spear heroes. Down he goes. Another one dies as well. We got some Tertials in sword, with their swords drawn, looking for blood. Eclipse just running for their lives right now. 2 heroes left to go, and I believe they're on their last lives as well. One of them, Kawaii Potato, which we can see going up a siege tower. Kawaii Potato actually, in fact, the last hero from Eclipse around. If he dies, it should instantly go to a victory if everyone's permadeath. But I do believe someone is actually respawning. Unfortunate for Eclipse, could not send it to a tiebreaker. Congratulations, TakeOver. They will be moving on to the second set of elimination rounds. We'll get to see... Oh, wait, no. So, TakeOver will be facing Wildfire. I remember seeing a similar match, I believe. I think TakeOver has faced Wildfire in the past. Whether or not, I believe Wildfire won the battle back then. All right. With that, it closes out the matches for tonight. With MinCho winning out 2-1 against VietnamArmy, and TakeOver winning it 2-0 against Eclipse. Tomorrow we'll get to see Kingdom versus... Who's HF? I have no idea who HF. Who is a HF? Who haven't we seen fight yet? That's super weird. Okay, so HF might be Amua? Strange. I know. So we have Kingdom versus HF, which I'm assuming is Amua, and then the next, and then we have for the last of the first round eliminations, we have Four Season versus Pretonia. But other than that, yeah, that is all for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I will be streaming the tournament and commentating. But yeah, I just hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Other than that, my name's Azakai. Have a nice day. Catch you guys tomorrow for the next set of matches.